Something has just been announced for all us crypto holders that I think could have some extremely positive effects. And personally, even though I knew that this was coming, the fact that this has now been announced again, I've seen it just bring a whole wave of excitement in the space that has basically been gone for the past 2 days, as we have literally witnessed the craziest days in crypto ever. But that's the funny thing, right? That's the kicker. I've already been telling you guys for a while right now that much of it is a bit of an overreaction. And even though I can't state that the current prices are the lowest we'll ever see, no, I keep stating if Trump does something really, really crazy, we could go lower. I will tell you one thing. No, I'll tell you more. First of all, I bought 2 coffees for this, right? You might be looking at this thinking, Dusty, it is right now 11 something p.m. Dubai time. Why did you just buy 2 coffees? It didn't even take a sip yet. Because it's about to be a long freaking night, all right? I'll tell you 2 things that have happened today that I think, are pretty freaking massive. Anyway, make sure you press that like button and let's dive right in. Afterwards, we'll talk about the price. All right, so first of all, most likely the biggest thing that was announced today. I'm going to say that this by far trumps out any other announcement that has been made in a while. Because if you start thinking about it, FTX was basically one of the worst crashes we've ever seen. We had, in the recent history here, 3 massive capitulation events. The one from just last night, COVID, and FTX. Those were the 3 most interesting ones I can think of. There was another one back in 2021, but it's not worthy of a mention because it doesn't really have a name. Anyway, regardless, FTX basically had a lot of people lose their money. For all of you that do not know, what happened in the FTX debacle was that it was one of the most popular crypto exchanges, but for some reason, they were so greedy for money, making them having a horrible risk profile, just absolutely atrocious. And after a little bit of fear, there were a couple of other things, but a little bit of fear, a lot of people lost their money. Or well, basically the withdrawals could not be supported anymore, and FTX filed for bankruptcy, by the way. Can you guys, can we appreciate the coffee for a sec? How do I do? Hey, look at that. Look at it. Creamy, huh? Woo! This is the first time in an extreme long amount of time there's anything in my coffee. No sugar, though. Never sugar. Regardless, the fact that these repayments can get started on its own as a concept we've known for a while. We've known for a long time that the FTX, debtors or anybody who was still getting money from FTX was eventually going to get a good chunk back, right? As the lawyers were fighting day and night, getting paid billions, it seems. I don't know how much they got paid, but a ridiculous amount. The only problem is we didn't know exactly when. There have been a few of these strange events that have not had a specific date, like for example with Mt. Gox, and the secondary one has been FTX. But now apparently those repayments might actually start here, or officially are going to start in exactly 2 weeks from now. And you can understand why that's an extremely big deal, right? Basically, this was already all liquidated. And that basically means that FTX had a massive amount of Solana, they had a massive amount of other cryptos that they sold back in the bear. This was bad for prices back then. It caused everything to dump further. But it basically makes it so that people who lost their money in that debacle, and there's still, again, so much money that's going to be brought back into the markets, all those people are going to get it back in cash, all right, in schmeckles, that they can pump right back into the crypto markets, into the crypto casino. Now, understand that it's not necessarily a completely plus event, meaning that just because massive amounts of people are going to get massive amounts of money back, why is that not perfectly positive? Well, if everybody expects that this newfound money is going to make prices increase, then people will front run it. They'll buy the rumors, sell the news, and the moment that people get their money from FTX, they'll start selling hard when those people get their money back to start buying. So it might even itself out a little bit, if not a slight downward curve, but that is again a more unlikely endeavor, because I do believe that the overarching, for example, Trump uncertainty right now, with the China tariffs being also a point of confusion. Again, if you did not see the news just quite yet, China to impose 10% tariff on US oil and agricultural machinery. China said, not so fast, Eric Trump. We didn't get filled for enough at 2100. You can see there's a lot of uncertainty there. One thing we do know, though, is that over a prolonged period of time, a lot of coins that we know and love are most likely going to win. Again, it is all a short-term little charade. And to relate that back to this FTX debacle, I personally think the moment that a lot of this money is going to start coming back in, which again could start in about 2 weeks from now, it's not going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news effect, mostly because, first of all, not everybody's going to get their money at the same time. And second of all, are you really, theoretically speaking, are you really going to start selling your crypto assets the moment that these people get their money? Like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event can sometimes work. And in this case here, could, but it's still quite a risky endeavor because of the idea that, again, it's a quite low class that's going to get their funds. And if they start buying massively, even then, a question of how much could they pump the price is still there. And so if you're buying it massively now, just with the idea that this money is going to come in and to then just sell on them, what if it takes a bit of a while? Because again, it's a streamline of money, basically accounting this or seeing this as slow but sure inflows, or let me say it differently. I personally think the FTX opening here will most likely just, if this were to be the standard amount of buys of crypto every single day, right, we'll basically increase it to this. So even though it's not going to cause a massive, crazy skyrocket that day, again, because it will be mitigated by this buy the rumor, sell the news speculation, it will basically cause, if the prices would usually go like this, for it to be a little bit more upwards curving, a little bit more exponential. The reason it doesn't go straight up is because, first of all, not everybody gets the money that day, and because even if they did, there'd be so much speculation, so much buy the rumor, sell the news stuff going on, that again, it would even itself out. But that brings me to point number 2. All right, so today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, we had ourselves Mr. Crypto Tsar David Sachs, right? The newly appointed crypto and AI Tsar David Sachs. He basically spoke, and one of the things which he said was that NFTs and meme coins are collectibles, not securities. Now, this obviously could not have gone any other way because, knowing Trump, on the website plastered everywhere, and even on Melania's website, it stated everywhere that it's a collectible thing you can buy for the jokes and giggles. And I dare to speculate that if David Sachs has said anything else than this, he would have basically gotten the sack straight away. Why? Well, if Trump is launched or has launched NFTs in the past, and right now just launched a meme coin, on which he very obviously states that those are collectibles and not securities, and then the guy he just appointed states, no, these things might actually be securities, I would have felt pretty betrayed if I was Trump, right? So this again confirms some of our suspicions that most likely David Sachs and Trump are pretty aligned in the sense that it's just a little bit of a show of, oh, we need so many days to get a report, but they most likely already made up their mind. And again, I relate that back to Eric Trump's tweet from earlier, where he basically stated it's a solid time to start adding some ETH. I thought it was rather funny. At first, he said, you can thank me later, and he changed it to not include that quote because, again, it might be a bit risky. But you can see it's already gotten freaking 10 million views right now because, well, it's Eric Trump. It's Eric Trump being bullish on ETH, one of the craziest coins in crypto. It's funny from every angle. Now, I know a lot of people must be thinking, hey, so if I now want to buy ETH or I want to short ETH because I don't believe in it, or hey, with this FTX news, I want to trade. Check the link down below to either Blowfin or WeX. On Blowfin right now, as it stands, we're doing a 5,500 XRP giveaway, basically split amongst about 20 people. Here you can see exactly how it's going to be split up. It will basically end tomorrow, so you have about one more day to enter. And the thing is, afterwards, so in about 1 day from now, a massive team campaign is going to start over on Blowfin, and you could probably trade on this platform from anywhere in the world. But some people said, hey, I can't use it, blah, 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 blah. That's why I have a second option, WeX, you can use from most likely anywhere in the world. I think anywhere in the world you can use it from. I don't know which country you can't. Never heard any complaints from that thus far. And I will say this, even though I would never encourage anybody to open a position with more than they're willing to lose, I would never say that. I will state that to some extent, the biggest gains in this crypto market will be made by some who are, a bit open to take risks. You can see that we added a ton more to our XRP position at the bottom. But even now, you can see that just last night, right, just a few hours ago, matter of fact, you could have gotten in an average price lower than mine at 246, just a few hours ago, basically. My average price is 263. So a few hours ago, you could have added right there, which would have been lower than my price right here. And right now you'd be up a ton. Why? Well, because the price, as you can see on the short term, is up roughly 8 or 9% in just like 7 or so, 7 or 8, whatever. Let's call it 8, 9 hours. And that's the thing that I love about this. With leverage, sometimes you can make better use of short-term moves, whereas with spot, I think you're always going to be fine. So I never discourage people from just going for spot. I'm just saying that to some extent, you can make better use of smaller moves with leverage. But then again, also, there are downsides to it, which every single one of you know. I'm just presenting the option for in case it's something you like. I mean, on the short term, XRP is changing the structure a little bit. Right now, looking extremely juicy. But if we take a look at it from a little bit of a longer perspective, you can see that as it currently stands, we're attempting it, right? 269-ish looks like the make or break deal. We're attempting it, but we've not yet completely broken out. But really, it just depends a bit on the angle, because if we again look at the bottom side as well, it just seems like this is where XRP is due for yet another move, either towards the upside or downside, but maybe, just maybe, Bitcoin is going to change all that. Anyway, I will be watching it. And I'm probably going to have to start adding more towards some crazier altcoins right here, because obviously one of my accounts got wrecked, as you guys know. But the thing is, it's mostly because I was not paying attention. I am pretty certain that with coins like XRP, XLM, HBAR, it is pretty hard to lose over a few month time span. It's only if you get really, really impatient. And again, the amount of gains I think we'll make with these coins is just absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, if you're looking to trade, again, links are down below. And I think all the news that's going around right now is looking good. Again, if you had a bad few days, just realize that these were some of the craziest liquidations we have ever seen in crypto. Matter of fact, it might have been the highest liquidation wave ever. The numbers just, they're not accurate is the problem. But whatever you lost, you got to make it back and more. That's what I always say. Today, mostly shorts have gotten wrecked, as you can see. I'm loving to see it. I'm loving to see it. To the moon we go.